Can you imagine a Brazil squad without Neymar Jr.? Sounds impossible, right? Yet here we are, as Brazil prepares for their upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Chile and Bolivia. Head coach Carlo Ancelotti has shocked fans across the globe by leaving the iconic forward out of his squad. Neymar, often called the Prince of Brazilian football, is missing, not because he has been forgotten, but because he is still not fully fit. Instead, the spotlight now shines on a fresh wave of attacking talent. Richarlison, Matheus Cunha, Kaio Jorge, and Estevão Willian. These names may not carry the same global weight as Neymar just yet, but for Brazil's passionate fans, they represent hope, excitement, and perhaps the beginning of a new era. Why Neymar is absent? For weeks, speculation swirled about whether Neymar would make the cut. Rumors, debates, and heated discussions filled sports programs and fan forums. But in the end, Ancelotti was clear and direct. Neymar simply isn't ready. The superstar forward, battling lingering fitness issues, has not yet returned to his peak condition. In Ancelotti's own words, "We know Neymar has nothing left to prove, but to be on the World Cup stage, he must be completely fit. If he is to help us, it has to be at 100%. This statement carries weight. It shows that Neymar is still in Ancelotti's long-term plans, but it also makes one thing very clear. There will be no shortcuts, no risks, no half-fit Neymar on the field. The World Cup is too big a stage for compromises. The goalkeepers, no Ederson again. In goal, Brazil's squad features Alisson, Bento, and Hugo Souza. Liverpool's Alisson remains the safe and experienced choice, but the absence of Manchester City's Ederson is once again raising eyebrows. Many fans expected him to reclaim his spot, but Ancelotti seems to have other plans. Perhaps it is about testing new options, perhaps it's about building squad depth, but either way, the message is clear. Nobody's place is guaranteed. Brazil's defense includes Wesley, Vanderson, Alexandro, Caio Henrique, Douglas Santos, Gabriel Magalhães, Marquinhos, Alejandro, and Frederic Bruno. One noticeable omission is Beraldo, who many thought had earned his spot after recent strong performances. For Ancelotti, the defensive line is less about proven chemistry and more about experimentation. He wants to see how these defenders adapt, both mentally and physically, under the pressure of competitive international football. Marquinhos remains the most experienced figure in this backline, but for many of the others, this is a chance to prove they belong. In midfield, the squad lists Andrés Santos, Bruno Guimarães, Casemiro, Joelinton, and Lucas Paquetá. Among them, Casemiro stands out as the anchor, the experienced warrior who has carried Brazil through countless battles. But the real story here is Paquetá. Once clouded in controversy and even accused of spot fixing, Paquetá has fought his way back into the national conversation. With stellar performances for his club and a strong statement of innocence, he has forced Ancelotti's hand. The coach couldn't ignore him, and his return adds creativity and rhythm to the midfield. For many fans, Paquetá's comeback feels like redemption. The attack, the new faces of Brazil. Now let's talk about the most exciting section, the forwards. With Neymar, Vinícius Jr, Rodrygo, and Eder Militao all absent, Brazil's attack looks unlike anything fans are used to. The names include Estevão, Gabriel Martinelli, Kaio Jorge, Luis Enrique, Matheus Cunha, Rafinha, Richarlison, and João Pedro. A mix of rising stars, promising talents, and a few familiar faces. For fans, the focus is already shifting to Kaio Jorge, a young striker making waves in the Brazilian league. His energy, pace, and determination could make him a breakout star. Meanwhile, João Pedro, shining with Chelsea, has also been rewarded with a call-up. But perhaps the most intriguing inclusion is Estevão, one of the youngest names in the squad, whose raw talent is drawing comparisons to Brazil's great attackers of the past. If he can handle the pressure, this might be the stage where he begins to write his own story. Big names missing, Vinícius, Rodrygo, and more. Of course, the absences are just as notable as the inclusions. Vinícius Jr. and Rodrygo, two of Real Madrid's brightest stars, are not part of this squad. Neither is Militao, who has been rested. While these omissions may feel shocking, they align with reports that Ancelotti wants to give them rest and test new combinations. It's a bold move, but it also highlights something important. Brazil's World Cup qualification is already secure. These matches against Chile and Bolivia will not decide their fate. That gives Ancelotti the freedom to experiment, to test players, and to see who truly has the mentality and strength to shine when it matters most. Ancelotti's experimentation. This is perhaps the most crucial point of the entire squad announcement. Carlo Ancelotti is treating these qualifiers as an experiment. Whether Brazil wins or loses these two matches, their ticket to the World Cup remains safe. That gives Ancelotti the perfect opportunity to call up players he has never worked with before. With the exception of Casemiro, almost every player in this squad represents new ground for him. He wants to test their mentality. He wants to measure their physical strength. And he wants to see how they respond to the pressure of wearing the famous yellow jersey. Those who rise to the challenge will earn their place alongside Neymar, Vinícius, Rodrygo, and Militao when the World Cup comes calling. What this means for Neymar in Brazil. For Neymar fans, the wait for his comeback continues. His absence here is disappointing, but it also shows Ancelotti's discipline and long-term thinking. He is unwilling to risk Neymar's health just to satisfy short-term excitement. Instead, he is preparing the team to be ready, whether Neymar is there or not. But make no mistake, Neymar is still very much part of the plan. When he returns fully fit, he will be welcomed back into the squad. Until then, Brazil must adapt, experiment, and find new heroes. So what do you think of Carlo Ancelotti's squad? Is it bold and refreshing, or risky and uncertain? Are Brazil fans ready to trust these new names, or will they continue to miss Neymar and the other superstars left out? One thing is certain, this squad represents change. It represents experimentation, and it represents the future. As Brazil steps onto the pitch against Chile and Bolivia, the world will be watching, not just the scoreline, but the rise of a new generation of Seleção stars.